Hello, welcome to Asterisk on VPS.com. Today I'm going to show you how to install ASTPP on CentOS VPS OpenVZ CentOS 6. Um, ASTPP you can find them at www.astpp.org. ASTPP is open source software, open source switch that uses free switch class 4 and 5 soft switch that uses free switch. You can visit them at their website and go to documentation site to get the installation instructions, and these are the standard installation instructions. So if you can install with these ones, lucky you. I have not had enough really luck with installing here, so I made my own installation script for CentOS. I haven't tried this installation process for some time now. Maybe the script has been edited to take care of the dependencies that were not being installed. But anyway, I have my own script which I use for installing. It's the same script in basically, with just a few additions and modifications here and there. And so if you need this script, you can get it from asteriskonvps.com from the shop. Then you can get it. It's just $5. Nothing more. It's just like a donation. Okay, and to create this, you need an CentOS VPS. I'm going to install my CentOS here on this VPS that I have on vpsforhire.com. So let me install. Okay, while it's installing, we'll come back here to reboot it. But while it's installing, I can say a few things about CentOS, about ASTPP. ASTPP uses FreeSwitch as its main switch for installation. So for making calls and things like that, and ASTPP is a very good um, graphical user interface, and you can check the should have a demo here. There is an online demo here that you can check. The admin section. Okay, skip admin. Admin. Okay, that's the ASTPP. Okay, that's the admin of the if you can also donate to these campaigns. These campaigns were suggested by myself actually. uh, there is a one for DID improvement. This is where if you need your DIDs to be to be arranged by country and city, because at the moment ASTP arranges all the DIDs in just one thing. So without separating, just like as in numbers, without separating them. So if you want to donate also, you can visit them and donate. You can visit this demo and donate. These two things are very important, so if you need them, you can help the cause by donating. Okay, right. So this is the basically, without this red line, this is basically the switch, what it looks like. All right, and then okay, I'm sure my VPS is installed now. Let me boot it up. Okay, right. Okay, I okay, this is my VPS 102.104.152.186. Okay, right. Now that you have your CentOS, I have opened the IP of the server. I've gotten into the SSH command line of the server. I'm using X shell. You can use any client, any shell client that you want, but I prefer X shell because I can save the passwords, and next time when I want to use it, I can just click it without inputting the passwords. Like I have a lot of customers, so for me to remember each and every password will be very hectic. So I use Excel because it has a facility for remembering the passwords. Okay. Now, when you get in, or what you need to do is to download the script. If you don't if you don't have a link, if you get a link from, if you buy it from a status on VPS, you will get a link. Actually, you get a link with details on how to install it. So I'm going to install this one from my own link, ASTPP.sh. This link can change, so it's not guaranteed that it will remain like this. But when you get a link for your script, you need to save it, and maybe save it somewhere else where you can be able to access it. You can instead of using wget, you can actually use WinSCP and get the script into your root folder. You see, so when you get the script, you need to save it somewhere else. Okay, now now that I've downloaded this script, okay, I'll do this, make it executable. So I have to change the permissions here. ASTPP.sh. Okay, now I have my ASTPP.sh. You can either use bash ASTPP.sh to execute that file, or you can just execute it like full stop forward slash ASTPP.sh. Either way, it will install. So when it starts installing like this, don't touch it, don't do anything to it until it finishes. It will go on until it gets to finish. So here it will install the dependencies that are required. It will install pair packages, and then it will install free switch, and then it will install ASTPP and configure the IPs. So the only thing that you need to do after installing, just check that your web server um, is is okay, is running okay, and then you can you just go to your IP address um, uh, with port 8081 and log in with password admin, username admin, and password admin. So I'm going to let this run, and it's 9:45 p.m. for me. I'm going to let this run. Uh, uh, I'm going to stop the video, let this run, and pick it up when it is finished. Our our software is finished installing now. So what we need to do is to, okay, you should take note of these items here. Of these items. Don't forget to configure the following options in CSF. This script actually also on top of ASTPP, it installs CSF, which is firewall that you can use to block unwanted traffic. And okay, so here it is. So like I said, the installation takes about 45 minutes. Yeah, but it depends on how fast your server is. If your server is online like mine, it's faster. And if it's on your laptop, or if you are doing it from VMware on a local server, then it depends on your internet connection. This one didn't depend on my internet connection because it's online. All the items are being downloaded from server to server. So that was 45 around 45 minutes to install. Okay, now once you have done this installation, you need to make sure your web server is running. So service httpd restart. Yes, it was okay, it was running. Okay, now then you need to go to your okay, to the IP address. IP address. This is the IP address, port 8081. If everything installed okay, you should be able to get the ASTPP server online. And now you enter admin is the default username, and admin is the default password you get in. And voila, there is your ASTPP. So just a rundown of ASTPP. You you can create your customers from here. Already you will be having two customers already configured in your ASTPP. One is a provider customer. This means this person is a provider and can be as well can as well be your customer, like sending you traffic and you sending him traffic. And this one is customer, which means he is sending traffic only to you, but you are not sending any traffic to him. So when you create a customer like this, you just go to where it says create customer. When you create a provider, you go to where it says create provider. See, when you have created a customer, you can go to edit customer. You can put an IP address. If you are doing IP authentication, put an IP address here. If you want him to connect through SIP, you can create a SIP account here. He can also create this SIP account from his own customer panel or when he logs in. The login for customer and admin is the same page. So the customer just logs in with his user details. Maybe let's put this as a password. Okay, so we have username and password. Yes, so now the customer can actually log in using the username and password that we have created there. And this is the customer side. Customer can recharge using PayPal and can purchase DIDs, create his own SIP accounts here, manage any CIDs here, and then invoices, manage the invoices, reports, payment reports, CDRR reports. You can see all the CDRR reports here, and his rates, the rates that are in his core plan or in his rate plan. You can actually see them here. Okay, but on on the other side, okay, there's something I need to explain here. Right. So on this, whilst you see when you have finished installing, there is what are called SIP profiles. On the SIP profile, you will get a profile, and you will need to edit this IP address and put your this that statement there and put your own IP address. Right. Also, you can edit this. Go to this. Come here. Put your own IP address. Also, RTP IP. Paste. Okay. And you can also specify a codecs, inbound codecs, outbound codecs. If it's ULO, it's PCMU, and ALO, PCMA. G729, it's capital letter G729, and so forth. So you can specify your your codecs, inbound and outbound as well. Inbound and outbound as well. You can specify your codecs there. Once you have done that, you can go to your free switch and try to reload free FS clean. try to reload mod XML kill reload mod XML CDR. Alright, Sophia status. At the moment, if you look, we are not getting any default profile. Our this profile is called default profile, but we aren't getting it here, which means our ASTPP profile hasn't been loaded in. So we can now try to reload mod Sophia. If you have any servers that are already connected to your server, you can reload ACL so that the IP addresses can be recognized. Now if you go to Sophia status, now you can see all that junk that was there is off. Now we have the default profile loaded. You see, it's just the default profile loaded now and running. So now your free switch is connected to your ASTPP, and if at any time you need to add another free switch server, all you need to do is you don't have to install ASTPP again. All you need to do on another server, you install free switch, just free switch, and then you connect it this way. You put your IP address here. You can use the same ClueCon because ClueCon password is default, and the same port you can use it to connect to your to your free switch, and then you can add as many free switch servers as you can here, and all these free switch servers will help in processing the calls for ASTPP. So there is nothing really special about having multiple free switch servers aiding one ASTPP server. All you need to do is to add your free switch servers here, and that's it. So that's it about ASTPP. If ever you have any questions, configuration is simple really, or but what you need to do to check when you are doing your configuration, before you do your rates, you do a rate group. You create a rate group, then origination rates. You need to know to differentiate these because people get lost on these terms. Origination rates are the rates that you are charging your customers. Those are the origination rates, right? And termination rates are the rates that you are being charged by your provider. You see, trunks goes in hand with termination rates. Rate groups and packages goes hand in hand with origination rates. So origination rates is for customers. Termination rates is for trunks. Your trunks. This is what you are being charged. So you need to, and if you have an origination rate and you don't have a termination rate for that specific destination and trunk, your call will not go through. Your ASTP requires that you have an origination rate and a termination rate before your call can be passed through. So and the other thing is you can actually use this rate group. um, uh, you see this rate group, you can actually use put the same origination rate as termination rate, right? So the termination rates that you get from your your provider, you can actually upload them as origination rates and upload them as termination rates, and use this markup percentage. So if you have uploaded both the same and you put 20% here as a markup, it means your rate to the customer is 20% of your origination or your termination rates that you have put in. So is that makes it a little bit easier, because you don't have to then put to 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 put termination rate and then a calculated origination rate depending on a percentage. You just put the same amount for origination rate, the same amount for termination rate, and then you use this markup feature to put your markup. The other thing I wanted to say is, if your origination rate is less than your termination rate, your call is not going to go through again, because when you run a VoIP service, you are supposed to either make a profit or just break even, right? So if your origination rate is less than a termination rate, it means there is something wrong that needs to be sorted out. So it will not go unless, because that might give you a negative return on your core reports. Okay, so that's it. And what else? You can configure your invoice. You can configure your invoice here. Put your name, your company name, and everything. And if you are charging taxes, you can put in your tax, whether it's VAT or income tax or whatever tax it is. You can use this to restore your database, your core reports. You can this is you can actually see your live calls whilst they are going through. This thing will refresh and list all your calls that are going through, and gateways. So for every trunk that you have, you need to put a gateway. You will, because when you specify a trunk, you see that a gateway is needed. You need a gateway, so a gateway and a provider, you see. So for every trunk that you have, you must create a provider for it and a gateway for it. And on the gateway, when you are creating a gateway, that's where you put your IP address, whether you are registering. If you are registering, then your username, your passwords and things like that. So that's how um, you okay, there you are. Can you put your username, your password, and everything? Okay. So that's ASTPP in short. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me.